Hey everyone, welcome to Math 2414. This is Calculus 2 for the 5A portion of the summer 2020 semester. I just wanted to kind of introduce you to the course, go over how it's going to work, and help you get on board with the navigation. So the best place to start is going to be on Blackboard. So on Blackboard, once you go to our course page, it'll probably take you to announcements first. So I'll always have the weekly calendar. That'll just give you an overview of what's going on for the week, exams coming up, homework that's coming up, kind of what your schedule is by day, what you should be reading and watching. And then I also posted my office hours, which are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 11, and then they're going to be through Zoom. So bringing me to my next part, if you go to the faculty profile tab on the left side of the menu, here you'll have my email address if you need to email me, which by the way is the best way to contact me. Here's my Zoom room link here. And then it also relists when I'm having my office hours. Next, head over to the Syllabus and Calendar. So there's kind of like a quick start guide here called the First Day Handout. You can download it as a PDF, and then that will go ahead and activate the links in this document. I also posted it here as an image for your reference. It goes over the grading scheme, important dates like the drop deadline and the final exam, my contact info again, and then kind of just like a very short blurb on each of my policies. So important things to remember for this class are the final exam and the drop deadline. This class is only 5 weeks long, so it comes up super fast. Definitely put those in your calendar. It also links you to the textbook, which is an open source, free, downloadable textbook for Calculus Semester 2. I'll show you that in a second. It also gives you the instructions for the online homework platform, which is called myopenmath.com. And basically, to register for the class in MyOpenMath, you want to go to myopenmath.com. If you already have an account, go ahead and log in. If you don't have an account, create one. It takes like 2 seconds. You can use your Sanjak email or your personal email. It's up to you. And then you'll have to enter the course ID here, listed on the First Day Handout, and then also the enrollment key. What else do I want to say? So basically, the class is going to be made up of 4 main parts, which is homework, forum posts, which is kind of like discussion, and then we have 4 exams and we have a final exam. So here you can see that your exams, they make up 80% of your total grade. So this is hands down the most important part. The homework serves as practice for the exams, and then the forum serves as a way to kind of cultivate class interaction, class participation, discussion, things like that. I don't do makeup exams unless for like the most extreme extenuating circumstances. Always email me. The forum policy is that you have to contribute no less than 12 original posts or replies. And we'll talk about a little bit more of that too. And then the homework policy is that in general, I don't accept late work, but I know life happens. So everyone has 5 late passes, which will extend the original deadline by 72 hours. So you don't need to ask if you can use it. Just go ahead and use it at your discretion, knowing that you have 5. So that's roughly maybe once a week that you can use one if something comes up, your job, whatever. So let's see. Below this, we also have the full syllabus. So this is all of the kind of finer print for Sanjak. It lists specifications for ADA, specifications for tutoring, accommodations. It'll list like the CRN and the course number and things like that. We also have the calendar. So you can see that it's basically 4 weeks of instruction here. And then the last week is going to be the last exam and then the final exam. So typically we have between 1 and 2 homework assignments due every day, Monday through Friday. And then on Mondays, we're gonna have our exams. So on the days that we have exams, we're not gonna have a homework assignment. Everything that's due on myopenmath.com is always due at 11:59 p.m. So if I say, like looking at July 9th, Thursday, if we see here that section 2.4 is due, that means it's due at 11:59 p.m. So once the clock strikes 11:59 p.m., you will no longer have access to that assignment. If you're still working on it, you are allowed to use a late pass. Again, use them judiciously, but that's the way it's going to work. You cannot use a late pass on the exams. It's only for homework. There's another section in Blackboard that's worth checking out. It's just kind of a written version of what I'm going over here. Course goals, technology required, which is basically just internet and knowing how to use it. The structure of the course, the enrollment ID, response time and feedback. So my goal is always to respond to your email within the same day, Monday through Friday. And then, you know, if you email me late on Friday night or over the weekend, I'll definitely get back to you on Monday, if not before. Please include the class that you're in. I teach multiple classes in the summer, and as much as I like to think that I know the name of every single student in all my classes, it's not always immediately apparent which section you're in. So please include Math 2414 or Cal 2 somewhere in the subject line. Okay, attendance. So we know that attendance is a thing for SanJack. It's not part of your grade, however, it is recorded and measured for the purposes really of assigning a grade of FX or F in the case of non-participation. So the way that I assign attendance, or the way that I count someone as present, is did you do the assignment for that day? If so, yes, you were present. Even if you say the assignment was due on Thursday and you completed it on Monday, I'm still going to count that as present for Thursday. You did your due diligence, you got your work done for the day that it was scheduled, so we're good. If for some reason you did not do the homework assignment for that day, but let's say you logged in and you read the textbook and you opened up the assignment and you looked at some stuff, I would still count you present. And the way I'm able to do that is that myopenmath.com keeps an activity log. So every time you log in, I can see that. Every time you open the textbook, I can see that. Every time you click on an assignment, I can see that. Every time you post on the forum, I can see that. So it kind of just click tracks you every time you're logged in and doing something on myopenmath.com. Okay, so let's head over to the textbook really quickly. So the textbook is Calculus Volume 2. It's through openstacks.org, which is an open source, open educational resource kind of library for all sorts of topics. So you can either, I usually view it online, I think it's fine, but you're more than welcome to order a print copy. They usually run between $40 and $50, and they come in soft cover from Amazon in a few days. But usually what I'll do is for every homework assignment, I'll link it to the specific section. So I always have my table of contents open, and that way I can kind of click around between what I need to know. Like, so if I'm working on the first section area between curves, I'll just head over there. Almost all of your homework problems are going to come from the textbook. So they're either going to be a variation on an example, or they're going to be a question about a theorem in there, or a question about an idea. So you'll have to read the text a little bit to find out. And I might also pull questions from, if you scroll all the way through the section after reading it, you can come through to the exercises portion and you'll see there's a bunch of exercises. So word to the wise, I'm going to get a lot of my exam questions from here. Most of your homework questions come from here. So it's definitely worth going over these problems. There are a lot, you don't have to do all of them. Next, heading over to myopenmath.com. So this is going to be where 90% of what you do is on this platform. So we can see here that every week we're going to have a list of all of our assignments Monday through Friday. And then over the weekend, there'll be an exam review open for you. The exam reviews do not count towards your grade, and they're totally optional. It's just to provide you additional practice. I'll usually have a timer set on them so you can get an idea for the feel of like how much time you're taking and kind of learn to pace yourself. And then the exam will always open on Monday morning at 8 o'clock and it'll close at 11:59. Depending on the exam, you'll have between 2 and 2.5 hours to take it. once you open the exam, you have to finish it. So you cannot work on it for 10 minutes and then come back half an hour later, because then 40 minutes will have elapsed and you have only worked on it for 10 minutes. What else did I want to say? Homework. So when you go into a homework assignment, you can either click on it from the calendar just by selecting the assignment. And basically what's going to happen is like, okay, first question, this is a question about a definition or a theorem. So it says theorem 2.1. So we know that this is just a kind of a reading question. So you want to go to the textbook and check it out. You have 5 tries on each question. And if you miss it on the 5th try, it'll regenerate a new question for you, similar, but like different numbers, and you can try it again. So every time that you submit an answer, like let's say this is 0, by the way, it's not, it automatically saves it. And you can see here that you'll try it a few times, and after you try it 5 times, you can come up here and try a similar question. Let's go back to the class. So that's homework in a nutshell. Exams, you are going to need to upload your work. So on the first homework assignment, on the Cal 1 review assignment and orientation, there will be a practice area for you. So let's go to the last question. So the last question is going to walk you through how to create a PDF from multiple images, and then you'll be allowed to practice creating that and uploading it on this particular platform so that by the time you take the exam, you've already mastered this technological aspect and it shouldn't be an issue for you. The reason why uploading work to your exam is so important is, 1, to maintain some semblance of integrity, but also so that I can award you partial credit. So in the platform here for homework, the question is either right or it's wrong. So let's say you're off by, like, let's say you forgot a negative sign. You did this whole long problem beautifully and you're just like, oh, I forgot a negative sign, or I forgot to put +C. So that would mark you 0 out of 10 points. Well, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, you didn't totally flunk the question, you just made a minor error. So when you upload your written work, it allows me to read it and then assign partial credit, maybe taking off a point or a half point based on the error, something like that. The other thing too I should mention is, if you do not upload written work for a particular question, I'm going to write no work shown and then assign you a grade of 0. If it's something like reading a graph or a multiple choice and it's very obvious to you that you don't need to show your written work, you can just say number 10, I read the graph, or number 10, multiple choice. The other way that you can access the assignments is scrolling down. So everything is modular. So you'll see here that as time goes on, we'll have more modules. We'll have 4 modules, but in the first week of class, only the first module is open. So you can click on the assignments from within here. I'm also linking to the textbook. So for the first homework assignment, 2.1 area between curves, I'm linking to the textbook. Definitely read that. This will open up in a new window and you can read it. I have not, but will post videos as well. So I'll do a video lecture for each topic, each section. So definitely watch those as well. And then once you're done reading and watching, you can head over to the assignment. The other thing about the modular organization in MOM is that you know exactly what's going to be on each exam. So we can see here at the bottom, we have exam 1. Well, that means that 2.6, 2.5, 2.4, 2.3, 2.2, and 2.1, those are all the topics that are going to be on exam 1. Each exam is modular. So on exam 2, it's not going to be anything from exam 1. From exam 3, not anything from exam 2 or exam 1, etc. The final exam will be covering all the topics. So I guess the last thing that I want to talk about is Math Chat. So Math Chat is just what I call our math forum. It's going to be 5% of your total course grade. So original posts need to be in the form of a question from the homework, lectures, or text. So posting something like, oh, this topic was super interesting, like a 1 sentence, not very insightful, that doesn't really cut it. But if you found maybe like a novel way to solve a problem, that would be great. Or if you have a question, post it, but don't just say, hey, I have a question about number 3 on homework 2.4. That doesn't cut it either. What would be better is, hey, I have a question on 2.3 number 4. This is how I set it up. This is what I tried. I keep getting this answer, you know, what's wrong with my steps? And then a really good reply to that would be, oh, well, in step number 3, you forgot to apply the chain rule. So you're off by a factor of f prime of x. Great. A reply like, I don't know, I got stuck too. That is not great. That does not cut it. So just be really intentional and have good substance in your post and your replies. And I think that's all I wanted to say for now. If you guys have questions at all about how the course works, definitely shoot me an email. Oh, on the Math Chat forum, just because you can post whatever you want there as far as the class. Like if you have a quick question, that's fine. Like, hey, I'm really confused about how to access da-da-da-da. Or, hey, like quick question, you know, what's the derivative of ln of x? That's fine. That's not going to count towards your like participation forum grade, but the math forum is still a place where we can all discuss. I'm just looking for 12 substantive original posts and replies. You're welcome to do way more than that. So I think that's all I've got for today. And I will see most of you on Monday, I hope, in my 10 a.m. office hour. Please stop in, introduce yourself, and have a great weekend.